to this week's TESPN Podcast, and we are in the middle of postseason play. A really exciting time in the fall season. Let's give a quick recap of what's going on in all the sports. Volleyball and tennis have been done now for a little over a week. Boys cross country and girls cross country have their state meets today as they'll look to finish off the season strong. Girls cross country got fourth at the LIS meet last week, which I know was the goal for Coach Weiler. And also, congratulations for Logan Snyder. She got 8th in the race. Her first time running at the LIS meet. She was all league runner, so that's really great for Logan. And then we have soccer, which I want to talk to you about in a minute, Griffin. Beat Benedictine in this first round of the state tournament, which we got a chance to broadcast. It was an awesome game, incredible crowd. But then, since we last have been together, did lose the quarterfinals to a very talented Cape Henry team. So soccer's done. I want to come back and ask you some questions about that in a minute. But then we have two, team sports, if you will, who are preparing for state Final Four competition. Field hockey today has the semifinal against Collegiate. Round 4 between these two. The Titans won the first two. Cougars won the third at the LIS Championship in overtime. So that's going to be just an incredible battle today. I'm excited to go out there to the Robbins campus and get a chance to watch that game. I'm sure we'll come right down to the wire between two teams who know each other very well. And in football, we are just about 48 hours away from a state semifinal tilt against St. Steve and St. Agnes. So up there in Alexandria. So a lot happening in Titan sports. Of all these big events we got coming up with cross-country states, field hockey Final Four, football Final Four, obviously you're part of that team. So what are you most looking forward to, and what are you expecting in these next few days of Titan athletics?
Well, I'm hoping that obviously the Titans win all their playoff games, but I'm really excited for football going up to St. Stephen and St. Agnes on Saturday. Hearing a lot of the kids just buzzing about it, saying they're going to make the drive up there. I know Griffin is. It's just playoff football, there's nothing like it. It's electric. I can't wait.
So one thing we were talking about a few minutes ago off air was you all are coming off a bye week. So I haven't played since that last home game against Woodbury. Giving you guys a chance to get a little bit healthy, get some really key guys back. And we're at St. Stephen, St. Agnes last Saturday when you all were relaxing, watching college football, whatever. They were playing a tough league opponent, Georgetown Prep, in probably was a really physical game. So I think that's got to be a key, that we have that little rest advantage. Do you think just getting some guys back, can you talk about what you think that's going to mean, particularly on the defensive side of the ball?
It's going to be huge. Last week when we had the bye, we were pretty much 90% sure that we were going to be seeing St. Stephen St. Agnes in the playoff game, so we were able to game plan, really get our schemes down. So being able to get guys that have been banged up ready to go out and bang Saturday is a big deal.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the season for the Titans, early on in the season, the defense was incredible. Held Benedictine to 13, shutouts against Collegiate, shutout against Fort Union, really held Episcopal down, and even a lot of the points they scored were from offensive mistakes. So the defense was just unbelievable for most of the season. But some key injuries and also some strong opponents. St. Chris put up a lot of points on us, unfortunately, and then Woodbury was able to score 35 as well. But I've also noticed St. Stephen, St. Agnes, their scores tend to be pretty low. They look like a team that they've won some games, like in the teens and 20s. So just are we expecting kind of a defensive struggle or more like a shootout like we saw in the Woodbury wins?
I think when we get all our guys back, the defense is really the core and the heart and soul of the team. So, our identity is just kind of being like a big physical team. So I think really if we can get all our guys back, it'll be those defensive performance for sure.
Yeah, and then when you get to these playoff games, a lot of times it comes down to just turnovers, decision making, and so obviously you want to be really careful to take good care of the ball. Thankfully, we've got a senior quarterback who's very experienced and usually makes good decisions. So we'll, be in good hands with Toscano behind center. And that running game, which was so effective as well against Woodbury, handing the ball off to the likes of Trey Grant and Mario Thompson, I think, will be huge. So, yeah, can't wait to see what happens Saturday. Great to hear that a lot of Titans are making the trip up there. You mentioned Griffin. I think DJ is behind the camera here. I think he was raising his hand that he's making that trip up 95. And
we got a little group. My car.
Cool. Yeah, I think St. Agnes will. I expect them to bring a great crowd. I know when we played basketball there 2 or 3 years ago, they had an incredible student section. So that's a school that has a lot of school spirit. So I think it'll be an awesome atmosphere, and that should be a lot of fun. And then I know I'm extremely excited for this field hockey game today. Had the opportunity to broadcast 2 collegiate Trinity field hockey games in the last 3 weeks or so. The regular season game here, the Titans got a 1-0 victory on a late goal in the last 2 minutes. It was one of the most exciting events that we got a chance to broadcast this fall on TESPN. Then the Cougars, to their credit, in the LIS championship game here a week ago, they were down with a minute to go in regulation, got a tying goal to send it to overtime, and then they were able to win in sudden death. So congratulations to Collegiate there, but I think our girls are very focused and a lot of just motivation to not only get some revenge for that loss in the LIS championship, but also for an opportunity to get back to a state title where the field hockey program is used to be. And I think we've been in every field hockey state championship game going all the way back to 2015. So that one, I don't know, by the time this comes out, probably that outcome will have been settled. But that is an event that I am sad that we're not able to broadcast because it's not here. But I can't wait to go as a fan and cheer on the Titans in that semifinal field hockey game. And then soccer. Griff, I got to talk to you about this. Was a really phenomenal season for the boys. Didn't get off to the greatest start. I believe after 4 games, I think we were no wins, 2 losses, 2 ties. Kind of mixed results. A disappointing tie against Blue Ridge. A 4-0 defeat to Collegiate. Around late September, it was looking like states might even not happen for this team, and then you guys turned it around. Went on, I believe it was a 7-game unbeaten streak. Got some, great results, and then obviously finishing it off with the big regular season finale, come from behind to win 4-3 at Stab, and then the 4-1 win over Benedictine in the first round of state tournament in front of a huge crowd. Can you just talk about maybe some of the memories that you'll have from the season and just what it meant to you to be part of such a special group of guys?
It's honestly still bittersweet. I still haven't gotten over it that I'm never going to put on a jersey again. But at the same time, I just feel so honored that I get to go out and fight with all those guys. I can finally consider that team a family. I've been on several soccer teams that have been very close, but I think this is the first team I can be we were family. I was so confident every time we went out on the field that they was gonna have my back and I would have theirs. Definitely Titan Nation supporting the soccer team. I don't think I've ever. Phillips was talking to us saying that's never happened, And then I think when Titan Nation came out, it just boosted us so much, and I don't think anybody would be. I think if it was possible, Cape Henry came down here. I think with Titan Nation, outcome could have been different.
Well, the support was incredible. I mean, that Benedictine game was probably as big a crowd as I can remember seeing at a high school soccer game in terms of independent schools. And I mean, the cadets brought a ton of fans over. They were right beneath our broadcasting posts, and they were very vocal, as you would expect from those guys. I'm sure a lot of your middle school buddies were asking people to join them in the parking lot after the game, things like that. But I guess maybe you trade some stories about the game or something like that. But and then over in the bleachers, we saw the pom poms and just when the go-ahead goal went in by I believe it was Davis Geist who scored the goal that put us ahead 2-1. I mean, the roar was just amazing. And so I even said on the broadcast, this is what it's all about. Perfect fall day, hundreds of people, 2 rivals going full speed. No one wants to lose. Everyone's playing their absolute hardest, and it was just a pleasure to watch. I mean, that was actually the first game since we've been doing TESPN that I actually went back and watched the whole game. Usually, I was there. I'm going to see it again. But that game, I actually went back and watched that entire game just because the way it unfolded. It was like we were kind of dominant early. It looked like we might roll. Cadets, to their credit, like they picked it up. They gave us problems. They scored a tying goal off a corner kick. And then it felt like it could go either way. It was poised on a knife's edge. And, we stepped up and got a corner kick goal, which was so huge all season. This time, flood the Geis. And then ultimately the kind of clinching goals by Quinn Slaybaugh. And then Davis with a second. So that was the game for sure that I'll never forget. And like you talked about this senior class, at the Cape Henry game, I was very honored that Cape Henry invited me to be there and be part of their broadcast for that game. And you and I were just talking about on the broadcast. I said when that game ended and I saw our senior class, the players, the coaches, the managers all huddled, just having a moment. I started to get emotional. And a lot of you guys I coach at the JV level, but even if I didn't know you all, just know what it meant, how much you put into it, how close y'all got. And this year in particular, after not having a real season last year, I feel like it's been this way for every sport. Where it was almost like a reset button on high school athletics, and in some ways even on life. And so to build it back better was really it just meant a lot. And I think the legacy that you guys left will be felt far beyond. Next fall you'll be in college along with your guys, with JT and Quinn and Caleb and. All those seniors, Patrick, I don't want to leave anybody out, but Connor for sure. And I feel like Aiden, Waggy there doing his thing. And I feel like I'm actually forgetting one in senior. Grant Riddle. But all you guys, will be off at college, but I think you'll still follow this program. Hopefully we'll be here at TESPN broadcasting games. And I think that team will accomplish a lot. And I think you will have an opportunity to feel even though you're not on the field, you'll feel that connection. I know. For me, in the Titan basketball program, my freshman year of college, Trinity won the prep league, and it wasn't as easy to follow then. There was no Twitter, there was no streaming, but I was calling my guys how'd the game go, who did what, and so you still feel that connection, particularly when you know the guys in the team. So that was really cool. If you without giving too much away, because that was very much a private moment, but can you just sort of tell Titan Nation when you guys had that huddle on the field right after the game? What was being said?
Well, actually, almost everything you just said. Phil, he told us, he was just guys, I don't want you guys to go out here thinking that you lost this game. You had a great, successful season. He always told us how, since COVID, he was this season was so important, and it was so everyone knew that how fast sports can be taken away like that everyone had a different mindset. He said that we definitely a family, came in as a family, motivated each other every day, and that he could not be happier with the senior class. He said, of course, that he never wanted the season to end. He said, just basically everything you said. It was a good moment. I'm definitely gonna. I was not gonna. Everyone, just seeing all my brothers, just tears, and it was a good moment. I'm definitely never gonna forget that.
It was incredible. I walked across that field, and there wasn't a dry eye. And that doesn't always happen. That's how, in a way, I was fascinated by the question of what makes a successful season. Is it winning a championship? Is it reaching your ceiling? Is it having as much fun as possible? Is it improving your skills? And in a lot of ways, it's all those things. But one of the ways, one of the metrics that you could use to judge success is how sad were you when it was over? Because the more sad you were, that means the greater the season was. And I've been in situations where after the last game, people are all right, what's next?
Yeah.
I've also been in situations where after the last game, even when you win the last game, where I know the 2017 state championship basketball team, everyone was crying because even though we won, we were still sad that was it and it was over. And just those moments together, and so you could feel that. People who I never expect to cry, guys who didn't even get in the game. There was not a dry eye over there, and that just speaks to how deep the feelings were among that group of brothers as you described them. And that's, for me, at the end of the day, that's what high school sports is all about. So, of course, you want to put the banners up. Of course, you want to ring. Football still has that chance, and I'm hoping and praying you guys get that ring. But it's those relationships that you form between teammates, players and coaches, those are the things that you carry with you forever. And so I'm so glad that boys soccer had that type of a season. and just sorry y'all couldn't take it a little bit further.
And like you said, like the whole seeing people everyone who was crying. I remember. I'm just actually gonna give a shout out. It's actually been great with me. I was on the bench, and I remember that's kind of when it hit me. I was like, it's over, and I just had my hand in my shirt, and I just feel someone come over, and I'm thinking it's one of the juniors or seniors coming over, and I look up, and it's a freshman, and I was so surprised. But honestly, that's when I knew. I was like, all right, I left this team in a good spot, and everyone was family. Like that proved to me that all right, we all good, and everyone. But I think I hugged everybody. So to what you said, everybody was just sad. And that's when I knew. I was like, I'm happy it ended this way. If there was I'm glad I got to fight to the end.
Yeah, y'all get a ton of respect from Cape Henry too. I got some family, on that team, and went out to dinner with them after, and their kids were saying that was as tough a game as they had all year. Even yesterday, I watched the Cape Henry Woodbury broadcast, and the Cape Henry announcer was throughout the broadcast complimenting Trinity and how we played so hard and so physical but clean, as opposed to what he saw as Woodbury as a team that he felt was dirty. Honestly, and I'm not saying that myself, but I'm just quoting what they were saying on that broadcast. And there were cards, a lot of cards in that game, including a red on Woodbury. And just one last thing on the soccer, and then we'll try. I got a question for you about football, and then we get our athletes of the week, and we'll get out of here. But I just want to say to you, Griffin, watching as many soccer games as I did this year, you don't put up a ton of stats, but just the way you played, I have so much respect for it. And I said to every broadcast, you win every 50-50 ball. Your motor is one of the best I've ever seen. The amount of ground you must cover each game. Talking about the state cross country meet today is a 5K. You ran a 10K every time you stepped on that field. Change the direction, mixing up the 50-50 balls, and just a player who got the most out of your talent and abilities. I think of players like that. I think of Griffin Wright. So I know how much you went to the program, to the coaches, and so you for sure left a legacy that will not be, not soon be forgotten. And now we look forward to having another Wright step on the soccer field. And hopefully, your sister Lucy will have big shoes to fill. If she can be, half as impactful as you were, then we'll be happy on the girls' side. Sam, I know we talked last time, and you and I talked several times about you're not able to play with the broken hand. You're playing? Yeah. Oh, breaking news, dude! I didn't even know that. Oh, I'm so happy. No wonder you're in a better mood now. Well, that actually changed my question. I was going to ask about just how you've been able to contribute, even though I thought we're going to be able to play, but
I did too.
That's great that I'm so thrilled. I know what a bummer that was, but that's great news. But even regardless of whether you play one snap or every snap, how have you as a senior leader, even in your first year with the football program, what have you been doing since you've been injured just to get guys focused and ready behind the scenes, if you will?
I guess you just can't take it for granted. I knew that going into the season because this is the only season I think play football. And when I thought it was over before, our whole team was done, that was crushing. But now that I have the ability to play again, it's just you can't take anything for granted. Even practice, usually kids are I hope we don't practice today, but you only have so many of those left. So
I'm going to predict you play special teams, right?
Yeah, or not anymore. I can't.
Well, at some point, I feel there's going to be a fumble that you're going to recover, and maybe our fumble that you recover to keep us in possession. Or maybe St. Stephen's, I don't know. I feel like the ball's going to be on the ground and you're going to dive on it back in your days as a goalkeeper on JV soccer. So, and that could be the difference in the game. All right, real quick, I know we're running short on time here. Anybody got athlete of the week from this previous week that you want to shout out?
I want to shout out Davis, guys. He was just money. Both sides of the ball. He was just a dominant player.
Yeah, Davis was my player of the game in the Benedictine game with 2 goals, but also holding it down at center back. Is that who you were going to go with? Davis is a great choice. I'll also throw at you. Ellie Johnson had a hat trick in the quarterfinal field hockey game against Bishop O'Connell. So shout out to Ellie Johnson on that one. And trying to think of who else has played. Football didn't play. I guess Logan Snyder for all LIS and the girls cross country meet. She never even run cross country till this year. So what an athlete Logan is to roll out and get all league performance as a sophomore. So she gets a shout for me for Rookie of the Year. And big things coming up. Next week we'll have an opportunity to recap states for field hockey and football. Hopefully we'll have a chance next week to be previewing a state championship football game.
Who knows?
And
here or
maybe here, maybe St. Chris, but big ass to it for St. Stephen, St. Agnes, but all the Tight Nations behind you football. And thanks for everyone who's tuned in. Thanks for sticking around and listening to us. And we'll see you next time.